Hello everybody, Miss Jackie Russell here, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to another makeup look for the month of June. Now I'm actually doing this on May 29th, but I've already put out my May video. But I wanted to go ahead and show you my next look because I use the MANEATER palette, and y'all know in the month of May, if you watch that video, I did a takeover for the MANEATER palette. And that is the TARTE MANEATER, and I used quads, and there were 6 quads, and I showed y'all looks from each one, and I told y'all I might go vertical. Well, I went down this side right here, and I used some of that green, I used some of this, and I used some of the dark brown that's over here. Now, I put that dark brown in the very edge corner. I didn't want to use very much because I'm trying to just deal with these 4 colors right here. But they were so light, I didn't care. I felt like I didn't have any depth. And you can get some depth if you use a darker color in the corners of your eyes. Now for me, what it does is it lifts them up. So I'm going to go over that with you, but I want to welcome you to my channel. If you like this type of videos, be sure and hit that like and be sure and hit the subscribe. I would love to have you part of my YouTube family here. But I try to do monthly looks, and sometimes I do some full-blown get-readies with me. But today we're just showing this MANEATER look and what I did. And of course I use this color right here for my base. I went all over, up and down, top, all across my eyelid and everywhere. And then I used this brown, the light brown, in my corners, and then a little bit over, and then even into the crease. So I have a light crease, and then I came in with that gold on top and some of this color right here. But I still felt like I didn't have enough color, and so I added this color into it as well. So I basically kind of used this section. Well, I'm showing y'all this. It's really hard. I kind of used this row, featured it. I used this color for a highlight in this one, and then I used that brown that's over here on the other side. So as you can tell, you can still get a lot of looks, but I just wanted to get the depth. And so I'll show this to you. You can see right there in the corners how I did use that brown. And I do have a brown eyeliner on from Revant. The Revant gel eyeliners are waterproof and stay put. So if you're interested in a liner that doesn't go anywhere once you put it on, this will be a good one to consider. This one's in there brown, and you can adjust that up and down. You don't have to sharpen it, which I kind of like that feature. So, and it's packaged really nice, and it is Revant. You can save 10% with Miss Jackie, and I have a link, and or if you go to the site, I would think if you use Miss Jackie, you'd still be able to save 10%. But I do have a link and my code down in the box. Now, I also used my Estee Lauder cream, which is in the waterline, and that's what I've got in there, and just a little bit on the insides to bring out my eyes. I've got Estee Lauder foundation on, and because I'm wearing this coral shirt, I put on the Pink Poppy, Lollipoppy by Fenty Beauty, and you already know I'm loving this palette. Look at that, it almost matches my t-shirt. I really like this, and I've got it pretty strongly on both sides, and I didn't use any highlighter or anything. That's all I have. I forgot, I did put the Recipe Glow that I got from my BoxyCharm box in May. I did put that over my primer, so it probably helped give me this glow, because I seem to have a nice little glow going on. So I'm going to have to give credit to that product. It's the Watermelon, I think it's Ceramide Glow Primer by Glow Recipe. Is that right? I think so. But anyways, on my mascara, I use my black PrimeLash volumizer. And again, this is a buildable product. It is for mature eyes. It's got nutrients in it to lift, to strengthen and grow your lashes. And I just really like this mascara. And I've been enjoying this volumizer. I think it does like volume, give them more volume. And I have been using the serum, so I'm expecting my eyelashes to really start growing even more. And I don't curl my lashes with anything. This is my lashes, and I've been using PrimeLash mascara for about a year with the nutrients and everything. And I've got a coupon. You can save 15%, Miss Jackie Russell, if you're interested in their mascara. It's $28. And their lash serum, I think, is $42, which is really a great price. But anyways, I've got a video for that if you're interested in going back and checking out my Prime Promedic Cosmetics, and or I'll have that link down in my description. But it's a very good product. Highly recommend it. I still think one of my lashes is longer than the other. This side seems longer to me, so you know, they always say your eyes, one's bigger than the other, and I believe that one because this one over here looks smaller. So, oh well. Anyways, I use my Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat lip liner. I really like that. I got out her Catwalking lipstick, and this is just a real neutral, but I put it on as a base. So I brought it in here to show y'all because I do have it on, and then I topped it with the LWYA Love Who You Are by Kim Gravel. I got it right this time, XOXO, and I really like her lipstick. Now I got this at QVC, and I don't have a discount link, but I will tell you, if you go to QVC and you're new, you can use my link down below, and they'll pop up like a special. Like maybe if you're a new customer, you can buy $20 worth of something and get, or $40 of something and get $15 off. They have different offers for new customers, but you can do that on your first order. And I have seen lip trios, you know, 3 different colors with her lips, and she's got some beauty packets too that are on sale there for some pretty good prices. But that is a beautiful color. It's very creamy, and I like it. And I topped it off with Buxom's Hot Toddy. I like this color. It's a nice one. And Buxom, you can find Buxom, of course, at buxom.com, but you can also find it at Macy's. And sometimes they'll have them on sale. I got mine for $10 one time. That's cheap. They're usually $29. So you can find some good deals. If you're part of Ipsy and BoxyCharm, you can get a Fenty blush for about $10 or $15, depending what their sale is. Right now it's $15. Last week it was $10. Of course, they have other products, including the MANEATER palette. That's where I got it. And you can buy a kit where you get mascara and a lip liner and some eyelashes for like $35. And I have a video showing that with BoxyCharm to get this palette. Or sometimes they have the palette itself for $20. So, I mean, and that might fluctuate, but right now in the shop, if you're going to be shopping for it, you might be able to find it. They change the pricing as they go along. But this is pretty much my look today, and man, oh man, I've made a long video out of this. I didn't mean to do that, but let me know what you think about the soft, natural, smoky look that I was able to get using about 6 of those colors on the MANEATER palette. Now, this is going to be a continuation and collage, and we'll go on to the next video here in just a second. I just want to remind you, if you're part of the Jubilee, be sure and use hashtag Jubilee in the comments in a sentence at the beginning or the end or somewhere in between. And if you want an entry into the June monthly giveaway, you need to, which it may be too late for that. Depends when this video comes out. But to enter the monthly giveaway, you need to share my videos 3 times in that month. If this is still June, you may have time to get that done. If we're at the end of June, then you would want to do it for July. But anyways, that's all I have today. And so I thank you for being with me. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed and you enjoyed this, be sure and hit that subscribe and like button, because that really helps our channel out and we so appreciate you. But now on to the next look. Hello everybody, Miss Jackie Russell here, and we're on to the second look. And yeah, I'm still using the MANEATER palette, and I'm going vertical, and we're on the next look, and this is today's look. And I went really light and blended. And I used 3 different eyeliners to get this look, and I'm going to tell you all about it. I think I'll just pull out things. I will say my blush today is this buxom right here, which they call it Wanderlust, and it's Dolly. And it's a Premier Infused Blush, and I received this as a sample, who knows when, but I came across it, and I thought, hey, I'm going to try that today. And I like it. That's a pretty color, so I might consider purchasing it. I think I had bought some lip balm or lip plumpers, and I think that's where I got this, was as a sample in one of my orders that I made to Buxom, because I do buy directly from them sometimes. Okay, I also finished off my makeup with Charlotte Tilbury's airbrush, so I just sprayed that all over to give me kind of that dewy look. Oh, I forgot. I'll be right back. When I said dewy look, it reminded me of the Dewdrops, I guess the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Hue Drops. I use this with my foundation, so I did 1 pump of this with my foundations with Estee Lauder, and I mixed it and put it all on together. And then, when I said dewy look, I used this for that dewy look to hold it, but I probably got the dewy look by adding in my new Glow Recipe. This is really nice. It comes off dark, but as you can see there, but when you blend it out, I'm going to put it on my palm because that's lighter. You can see that it just blends out, and it's not that dark, see? And it just gives you that glow. So I don't know if you could tell that on my hand or not with all my spots, but that way you can kind of tell where you get that glow. Anyways, on my lips, I use my Estee Lauder Mauve, and I use that Armani nude color. I don't think it gives us a color. Anyway, it's real light. It's real light nude, but it went good with the mauve. It made the mauve pencil pop out, so to speak, and then I topped it with the Anastasia, and this is a real pretty lip gloss. And I thought with the colors, because I've got some shine going on of the same color in the eyeshadows that I used, and we're going to get to that. And I used my $1 Billion BBB Brow pencil. It's universal color. I used my PrimeLash Volumizer, and this is in black, and I've been using this, and I've been using the serum that I told y'all about, and it's been working, I think, but it's only been about a week, maybe 10 days. So I've been using that daily, and of course this has nutrients in it to, work with your eyelashes to make them longer and thicker. And I think it's working. So, but anyway, that's what I'm using. I do have a code in my description. It's Miss Jackie Russell for 15% off at Prime Chromatics. Okay, now, my eyeliners that I used 3. I used this blue, and you can tell the blue is underneath my eye, and it's on top of my eye. So I've got this aqua blue, and this was just a Macy special that I bought, so it just says gel liner. It doesn't really say what, whoops, I kind of broke it there, but anyway, that's the color. I pressed too hard. And then I used the white in my waterline, and then also a little bit on top and coming out of my waterline, but that's just a plain white, just so you can see I didn't press as hard that time. You don't need to. And then I needed a little bit of depth because I didn't use any strong colors in my corners. So I put my smoky gray from Estee Lauder just ever in the inside tips, like right here and up there, right here and up there. I mean, like just a little bit, not much. So that helped, bring my eye a little more. And the white and everything helps open up my eyes as well. And I know my shadow's not completely even. Also, after I put on all my makeup and the concealer on my eyes, I used Estee Lauder. I put on this powder. It's the banana setting powder, and it's kind of an orange, I don't know, yellowy banana powder, but I don't know if it's made out of banana or they just call it that. A squeaky lid, good grief. Just says banana setting powder. It's got magnesium in it. I don't know that it has banana in it, but anyway, I've got that on as my face powder. Now, I told you I used the MANEATER palette, and I did. And I went with the second row down, vertical, and that's the one with this green color over here. So I did this all over base, this over my lids, then I put this completely over my lids too, and I used this in my crease. Now I kept going back and forth with that green, because you can tell the green is kind of shadowed back in there, and then I went back over the insides of my eye with this color, as well as going in my crease. So it's a real light, like some might say a beachy look or something. So those are the 4 colors, and that's the look I got with it. And I don't know, I think it's kind of pretty. I always have fallout, so some of that color right here is fallout, so that's kind of off to the side, but I don't know, it just kind of adds a little glow to my eyes. I don't worry about it too much. I'm not going anywhere either, but if I did, I wouldn't be worried about it either. So I'm not trying to say I'm worried about it. I'm not. But that's my look today, and I wanted to show it to you. I think we're into June. Today's June 3rd, and I'll be showing you different looks with that MANEATER palette, and maybe we'll get into another palette. I just wanted to see how all the different looks. I did the quads across, and now I'm doing vertical quads and showing you all the different looks. And now we'll go on to the next look. Okay guys, we're on to the next look, and yes, I went ahead and used the Tarte palette again. So I'm still on the Tarte MANEATER palette, and I used 4 colors, not in the quad section, but it's still a quad, but I guess you'd say a vertical quad. And this time I used this row right here, kind of in the middle. I've got this all over, then this on the top of my lids. I've got this in the corners and in my crease, and I've got this one in the corner half edges of my eye, and probably some a little bit mixed in my crease. And that is what I come up with. I did use that one color, I guess right here on the inside corners. That color right there, they call it Pamper. So I pampered my eyes on the inside, and because that was such a pretty shiny color, I decided I would use this white cream on the insides, which I did, and you can see. And then I've also got my Estee Lauder cream in my waterline. And I never used to do the waterline, but I started doing that, and I kind of like it. And then I used the Noor in the corners and just a quarter way on my eyes on each side, as you can tell. And just the same way on top. I didn't go over very far, because I had that dark over there, so I just left it like that. So that was my eyeliner that I used. And I'm trying to use my PrimeLash a lot this month because I just got it, and I'm also using that serum. So I'm trying to get the nutrients on my eyelashes for the way that it says, and it's like using the serum at least 4 times a week, and I will say I've been accomplishing that, sometimes more, and I'm doing that, and then I'm trying to use their mascara. Now sometimes I'll double up on mascara, I might use another kind and put this on first to get the nutrients, like give it a base, and then go over it with something else. But today I just used the mulberry, and it's kind of it almost looks brown, but it's not. It's mulberry and kind of a mauve color, and that's what I have. I think it looks good with those colors. Anyway, I think it looks good with those colors, so I've been using that a lot, so you're going to see it a lot. I did change my face powder. I showed y'all my skin food powder, and then I've misplaced it and I haven't been able to find it. It's a small little pink container, and I've probably put it in with something else when I was moving things, and I just haven't found it yet. But I found my Rachel Couture, and this is a translucent powder, and I've got that all over. But before I did that, I did use my Estee Lauder foundation, and this time I used the ESL, I think that's Yves Saint Laurent. This is her Blur Primer, and I use this because I don't know if you know much about it, but it's clear, as you can see. I'm going to turn my hand around here in just a minute. But it's clear, but it feels like barrier repair. Are y'all familiar with Dermalogica barrier repair? Well, they have a barrier repair, and this primer feels just like that. And I don't know if it's got some of the similar ingredients, but it blurs the lines, and I think it's done real good, and also gives that little bit of shine. But I also use the Glow recipe, the watermelon, niacinamide, Hue Drops, one pump of this with my Estee Lauder foundation, so it gives me that nice little hue, and I really like it. I'm using the Tarte blush, and I don't know, of course it's got Tarte all over it. It's the Double Day Beauty Tarte Peach, so I have the Peach Tarte on, and I'm liking that. This here has the sponge on it, just so you can see, and I just dot it on, then I use my blusher brush to kind of blend it in. And then for my lip liner, I use this one, and this is one that I got out of, I want to say Allure, or it could have been an Ice Cream Beauty. It's a Mood Matcher matte liner, and if any of y'all know if you have this where you got it, I like it. It's a real pink liner, and I like using it with my Pink Confessions. Is it Confessions? Pink Obsession from Estee Lauder that I got in one of my little free kits. When you buy Estee Lauder $45 or whatever, you get a free kit. I'm really liking this pink lipstick, and of course I decided to put a pink Too Faced on. This is a lip gloss, lip injection. I don't know if it tells us what color it is. Just a Girl. So yeah, I've used that before. And then I forgot to mention I did use my BBB Billion Dollar Brow eye pencil, which is a universal color. It looks dark, but it really isn't. It's universal. I guess anybody can use it. And it's got the spoolie on the other side. But that's my look today. And on the MANEATER palette, I've got a couple more rows to do. So I've got these other ones on this side here going down, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know if I'll complete that out or not. I think I will. Each look's been different, and it's made me get out of my comfort zone. So I guess I'm a little thankful for that, because sometimes we need a little shake up. And actually, I like this look. I do think I'm a little glowy. So the only glow is that I used the Blow Primer from YSL, and I used that Glow recipe. So it really gave me that glowy look. Let me know. What do you think about that? What do you think about this eye color? And I did have a lot of fallout on this side right here, and I had to do as much repair as I could. I have some over on the other side as well, but anyways, I run into that. I just try to blend it out. It's casting a little bit of a shadow on each side, so maybe I didn't do that good at trying to fix that. Apparently not, because I can see it even in this mirror over here. It's not gonna go away. I'll have to wash it off whenever I wash my face off. But that's this look. So let me know what you think. And now on to the next. Okay guys, we're on the next look. And today is June 8th. And June 8th is the day of Pentecost for 2025. And I'm gonna tell you a little testimony toward the end of this. But right now I'm gonna get into what I got on my eyes and everything. And you wanna hear all about it. And if you don't, you can skip on past it. But anyways, I am going to tell you about the MANEATER palette with Tarte. I did another look in the quads, and I'm going down. You know, I've been going up and down. And this time, we've got this one right here. I've got this all over my lid, including above my brow, or up by my brow. I've got this in the corners and on half of my eyelid, and I got this on the other half, the inside to outside, and I use this as my crease color. So those were the 4 colors that I used, and this is the look that I got from that. And I used my Estee Lauder liner. I'm really liking this one, y'all know I do, and it's about to be kaput on this end because see how it's breaking up when I'm trying to sharpen it? But that's in the waterline, and even up above on top I put some all maybe 3/4 over, and then I've got the Noor on the inside corners on each side, and a little bit of a wing coming out, and that gave me this look. And that's, you know, how I did it. That purple, I think, because of my hooded eyes, I think it kind of falls on down to my lids. So I got that going on. And after that, before all that, of course, I used my double wear Estee Lauder, and yeah, it's a little yucky there. It's dry, so it's not wet. It's just dried on there, and it's, I hate to say it, I don't wash it every single time, but you know I don't. And then after I got before I put on my makeup, I put on Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair for my hyaluronic. And then I always use this Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Hydration Mist. And I wanted to bring this in here because I use this quite a bit. And it's just a light little mist, and it's got hyaluronic acid in it. And you can also spray that during the day like I just did. It does Radiant Skin, and it's Rescue Essence. So if you haven't ever tried that, and it takes a long time to use it. I got that last year sometime, and I'm still using it. And I use it every time I put on makeup. Well, really every time I wash my face. Okay, now for my mascara. And I didn't bring my BBB, but I used my $1 Billion Brow as usual. That's my favorite one. And then I used the Rachel Couture translucent powder that's all over. I used the Estee Lauder concealer, and after I do my concealer and I've got on my makeup, and I did mix the dewdrops, the Glow Recipe dewdrops, in with my Estee Lauder when I put it on, so I've got that glow to my face. And then I put this on all over to kind of, I guess, tone it down and set it, and I'm so glad I did, and I'll tell you more about that at the end here. Then my mascara, I use my PrimeLash Black, and this here is the volumizer, and I've got that on. Just pay attention to my eyes right now, and what I mean, because when I tell you my story in the end, you'll want to know why or what happened. I don't know if you'll want to know what happened, but you're going to find out if you listen. Anyways, I put this on. I'm going to just put a little more of this on here so y'all can see how good it works. And I have a link. I'm going to fill it for them, but I buy their products, so I know that they work. Otherwise, I wouldn't be telling you about it. And you can save 15% with Miss Jackie Russell. But I'm using this every day pretty much for this month because I'm also using the serum, and I want to see how well they work together. But I use that for my black mascara. And then in my FabFitFun, y'all just seen it the other day, I got my Swede, and it's a lift. So now I put that on. I'm going to lift them a little more, I think. I don't know if it'll do it or not, but let's see. I think it did. So I'm using this as a lift because I want to use my PrimeLash because it has the nutrients in it for my eyelashes to grow and strengthen. But this here definitely lifts the lashes, and you can tell that it's doing that. And it's got that small little brush comb on there, so it just lifts them up. I've got a little clump going on this side, and probably from doing this too much, putting too much on. Anyways, I do think it lifts them up. And like I said, I've got a little bit of a clump going on this one side over here. And you can kind of tell they're like pulled together instead of pulled apart. But it still looks nice and long. So anyway, I use this to lift it. And I really do think that it does lift it, but I do think that I might have overdone trying to do this on top of this again. So, because that's what I did in the beginning. So I may have overdone it there. We'll just have to live with it. I can feel the wetness of it on there, so I mean, I know I got a lot of mascara going on there. But anyways, then I use my Fenty blush, and I love this. This is Poppy, the Fenty Lolly Poppy. It's just a beautiful shade. I really like it. I did use my Estee Lauder contour packet. I just forgot to bring it in here, but it's, you know, I do it here, and a little bit up here, and then on the sides of my face, just a little bit to frame it. And let's see, now we're getting down to the lips. Now I haven't refreshed my lips since I went to church. And this, I use that new NARS color, and it's really pretty. And I don't know if I should have maybe used the Spice. I used the Spice 18 Nude is what this is. And it worked with it really well. I was going to tell you guys too, when you're older, you don't want to put your liner all the way to the inside corners, I guess because we got lips and skin coming down. So you do it just to the edges. And I don't know what you do when you got lines like me on the top. You just deal with it. You live with it, I guess is the word for it. But this NARS is really smooth and lovely. I like it. And then I used the Buxom Ginger, and that topped on there real well with that. And I don't know if I told y'all the NARS color or not. The NARS color that I got out of my FabFitFun was High Clear 216. Very pretty, very smooth, and you could tell I still had a little bit on. Now, that's what I have on my face, and I'm glad that you were here for this today. And like I mentioned, today is the day of Pentecost 2025. So if you don't want to hear the rest of this, that's fine and dandy. You can move on to the next look. But if you want to stay behind, I want you to know that today, the lesson that we had convicted me of the Holy Spirit. And I've been baptized and saved through Jesus Christ since I was a kid, like around 10 years old. I was baptized for the remission of my sins. I was baptized in the water. You go down in the burial, and then you're risen again out of the water in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And I believe I received my salvation at that time, and I was saved. Today we have a lesson on the Holy Ghost and it coming upon you, and the laying of the hands of the Holy Ghost. And we were in Acts 1 and 2, and I was convicted, and I came forward. They had like an altar call. I don't know if it's what you'd call a true altar call. It's a really laid-back church. But I came forward and I had them lay hands on me for Holy Spirit gifts, speaking in tongues, and other gifts that might be manifested through the Lord. And they laid their hands on me, and I didn't know what to expect. I was very emotional. I knew the Lord had led me up there, and I felt the Spirit come upon me. And I did speak a little bit. I cried out. I didn't speak. I wouldn't say I spoke. I would say it was more like moanings and groanings, and I felt it. And it was very wonderful. But the whole time through that, I was crying for joy, crying of all that was going on, and crying. And I'm telling you, I had on this makeup. I'm talking about all of it. My double wear. I had on that Fenty. Everything I have on, other than what I just put on. And I was crying. I was having to use a Kleenex, to wipe my face. So this makeup, all of it, stayed on during all that joyous time, which I'm going to say it's joyous, because in Pentecost is when Jesus told them to stay in the upper room and the Holy Spirit will come upon you. And of course that was manifested with fire on each head, and we didn't see any fire or anything today, but it was very wonderful, and I pray your blessing on it. And if you don't believe in the Lord, I would just say, please read the Bible, please read the Gospel, read the Acts, read Romans, read John. That will tell you all about Jesus and his free salvation. We're under grace now, and I do believe Jesus is coming soon, and I'm looking forward to it. It's called the Blessed Hope and being covered by the blood of Christ. So that's my little thing on that. And if you stayed with me, thank you. Maybe put a little heart down there. And blessings to everyone. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you. And I've got an exasperated dog here. This is Tula. She's over here about to beat me up, wanting to come up and say hello. She wants to kiss me too. Hold still. Yeah, she's a Parson Russell, and she gets active. Say hi, Tula Boola. Oh my goodness. She's going to tear my blouse up. I'm going to have to let her down. Oh, now she's going to be too excited and not want to stay down. But anyways, that's a Parson Russell for you. Yeah, she's really busy. Hey, while I've got you here, I've got the puppies out. This here is Reggie. Isn't he cute? He's a little boy. And then here's his brother. His brother is Rascal. Here's Rascal. Say hi to Rascal. And Boomer. Come here, Boomer. And this is Boomer. Yep, we got Boomer. He's going to be a broken coat. Look at him. Isn't he cute? And he's just all pretty. Look at him. Say hello, Boomer. Say hi to everybody. So, and they're about 6.5 weeks old. And this one here, but these two that I just showed you are available. But this here is Rascal. And he looks to be a smooth coat, and he has a little mark on the back of his tail, which is confirmation marked. And then this here is Reggie, and he has a home. They're just waiting for him to get big enough. And he's going to be a broken coat. You can tell by his ears because his hair is long there. So he might be a slightly broken, but he might be full broken on the face. But anyway, those are my puppies. I know some of y'all asked to see them, so there they are. And then I had my little testimony, and I hope you didn't mind me sharing it with you. But now we're going to go on to the next look. Hey guys, I'm back with another look from the from the MANEATER palette by TARTE. I am using row number 4, and I went a little rogue because of the colors, I guess. And I just wanted to do it a little different. So what I did is I started off with just putting this gold right here all over my lid and even up to my eyebrow. And then I thought, okay, now what I'm gonna do. So what did I do? What did I do? I took that gold all over, And then I went over and I got this brown to go in my crease right here. And then I thought, okay, well, I need some blue. So I've got this blue right here in the corners of my eye. And then I thought, well, I've got to use this other blue here, which is, I don't know if I can read that, mysteries or something, or mysterious. And so I use that as a liner underneath both eyes, and I lined underneath the brown. So I lined right in my crease, and I don't know if you can even see it. With my hooded eyes, I guess it kind of brought it down like a little shadow. And then, of course, I had that gold across there, which is really standing out and popping out pretty good. And I put some of that, you know, that blue that I did in the corners, I did it a little bit to the inside. So that's kind of what I did. So I worked with that, and then to get that fourth color, that's that rusty color, that orangey color. I'm not a big fan of using rust colors, but what I did was I put it above the brown a little bit and then blended it down. And it seems like I can see it more on this side than I can this other side. But it's definitely there. There, a tilt there, you can see it over here. So it's all the way the light hits you. So that is the MANEATER, and that is my, I don't know, my 8th or 9th look. I've done 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This would be the 11th look, using it in different quads. And of course I incorporated a little bit more. I did use, I forgot to tell y'all, I did use the white that's over here, right there, up on my brow. So it's a little bit more white and it's not just gold up there. So I did do that. And then I used Estee Lauder liner. I used the cream to go inside my waterline and a little bit on halfway, I guess, up on each side. So you got that little bit of white in there, a cream color. And then, did I remember to bring the other one? No. And then, of course, I used that blue shadow for my liner coming down and then halfway down on the other side. So that's how I used it for my eyes today, and that's my look, and I like it. And then I used the Tarte, the Tarte Juicy Couture or something. I don't know what's that called. The Maracuja Juicy Lip Cream, which that's this color. It's very creamy, and I like it. And I used an Estee Lauder Mauve eyeliner or lip liner. I forgot to bring it in here, but this is the lip color. Isn't that pretty? And I forget to use this. And then on this one, because I had the gold on my eyelids, I used the Anastasia on top that kind of has like a gold tint to it, but you know, it still looks a little pinky with that Tarte lip cream, Maracuja lip cream, and the color of that is peppermint. So it's not even really red. It's more like a mauve color, I think so. But anyway, that was my look today. Oh, mascara, I did go and use my PrimeLash. I am using the serum like I told you I would every day, or just about every day, and I'm using PrimeLash when I wear mascara so that I can get the nutrients on my lashes, and it pulls off a good look. I mean, it really, I think my lashes are getting longer. So that's just what I think. But yeah, that's it. That's basic. I've got my Estee Lauder on. I've got on for my blush. It's that Fenty Poppy, Lollipoppy, I think is what it's called. And then, of course, I have on my Estee Lauder foundation. And I use Rachel Couture translucent powder. But anyway, that's my look. So I just wanted to hop on here real quick and share it with you. My video is going to be kind of long, so I'm shortening this down so that you don't have to just keep hearing the same old thing. But do please let me know, what do you think about the way I did this look? And I just used the shadows for my lift and my corner eye. I didn't use any liner to help me line that out. I did that on my own this time. So, yeah, I guess you can do things sometimes when you don't even think you can. I do think my shadow underneath might be a little bit thick, but that's how it ended up. And I used the one that I like to make my cat eyes with, that little brush, my little paint brush, I call it. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, that's what I used, which might have been a little thicker line to go under my eyes. But overall, I just thought it was a good look, so I had to show y'all because I didn't know how that look was going to turn out using those blue colors. But I like it. You let me know if you like it. But that's what I have, and now we're going to go on to the next look. Well, here I am with the next look. And hey guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up with this look because this video is going to be long. I have been working with the MANEATER, the TARTE MANEATER palette again, doing vertical looks. And this was the last one of the vertical looks. And I want to show it to you. It was one of my most fearful again because it was all dark. It was the last ones over here, this row right here. So I used that navy blue there in my corners. I used that green in the middle to the outside edges. I used the brown, which they call teas, in my crease, and the alpha all over my lid, all over that brown, all over that green, and all over that blue. And it was still so dark. I went over to this color right here, which is Fascinate. So those were the colors that I used, and this is what I ended up with. And looks like I have a little bit more darker on the inside of this one right here. Well, I don't know, it's hard for me to see. But anyways, this is what I ended up with. You can see that green off to the side over here, little over here. You can see the navy blue in the corners. You can see the browns in here. And then that shimmer on top along with the white shimmer. And because it was so dark, I relined with my Estee Lauder cream on top and on bottom to pop some light into my eyes because this was such a dark look. So anytime you have a really dark look or you're just kind of freaking out because it's so dark, you can lighten up with a light or white cream liner, and you can do your waterline, and that'll help brighten your eye. You know, my eyes are small, so by using all this dark, I don't know if it made them bigger or smaller, but the white helps bring it out. And then highlighting up above, and you can see I even did the highlighter into the brown. So that was the liner that I used for the white. I used my Charlotte Tilbury brown, which, did I bring it in here? I was using it at the last minute. Here we go. I put this brown. I really like, if you get a chance to use Charlotte Tilbury. Now, I'm a big fan of Estee Lauder. You already know I have every color that Estee Lauder has. But this is definitely Charlotte Tilbury, a brown that I would repurchase. It works really good, and I love it. So, I mean, you know, I like Estee Lauder, but I'm finding that I go for this brown a lot. It's easy to apply. It's creamy. Of course, so is Estee Lauder. But there's something about this liner that I really like. But anyway, so I used that. I used my $1 Billion Brow, which is a universal color for my eyebrows. And you can see that it's not too dark there. It goes good for me. And on my facial powder, I used my Estee Lauder foundation. I mixed 3 colors. I used 2C, that cool sepia that I just purchased. I don't even know if that video's gone out yet with Macy's Estee Lauder. And I use C2 and C4. Those are cool. They all stand for cool. and those work good for me. Anyways, I use that, and then I use the banana setting powder, and I don't know who this is by. Just says banana setting powder. Ah, looky there, it's Bella Pierre Cosmetics, so that means it's vegan, all natural, original. So Bella Pierre banana powder, and I opened it up so it's new. I've never used it before. It worked good. I've got on Charlotte Tilbury's Pink, and I think that's the name of this, but she names her things funny things. Pillow Talk Pink Pop, so this one's not so funny. But this is a nice little pink pop of color, and I like it. Works good. And then, of course, I use that powder over it. I did my Estee Lauder palette. I didn't bring it in here. My contour palette, my regular under here, up through here, over here, down my neck a little bit. And I use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, which works very good too. This is another very good product. You can see I'm getting low on there, so I do like it. And then on my lips, oh, I forgot the mascara. Again, I am using the PrimeLash Volumizer, and I might go over it a little bit. This mascara works so good, and I am using that serum, and ooh, yeah, it even brought it out more. And I am using that serum, as I was saying, and I do believe it's working. Now, I'm using this the whole month of June because it said to use it, you know, for a month on the serum. And then along with it, I'm using their mascaras so that I'm nurturing my lashes as I am growing and strengthen them with their serum. They do have a 2-packet where you can get a mascara, your choice of mascara, and the serum, and I think it's around $62, and you can save 15% with Miss Jackie Russell. That's my code. I'll put that down in the description. But if you are 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, you want some longer lashes, PrimeLips PrimeLash works, and I do believe it'd be even good for you ladies that are under 40, 30, 20s, because you can't start too soon with a good made and nutritious mascara. But anyway, the next thing I did was I lined my lips with an Estee Lauder lip liner, and I've been using this one lately. I don't know if I got it recently or what, but I really like it. It's mauve, and it went really well with this lipstick, which is a velvet lipstick from MAC. It's Frost lipstick, made in Canada. It's red frost, and you can see that it's got a little bit of a frost to it. It's very pretty, and I like this color. And usually whenever they're shiny, their little bullet points are shiny, means it's going to be moist, and it's not necessarily a matte. And I like that. And then I use the Buxom Ginger, I think, yeah, on top of it, which we all know I like Buxom. So that's what I've got. That's the end of this MANEATER takeover. This was a full MANEATER takeover, and I'm going to have to end the video because it's going to be an hour or around there, and I don't want to overdo it. But I want to help y'all with some tips. I did use my liner a little bit going up on each side, not way up like I do sometimes, but just a little bit. And I'll go through this look one more time. And I'm going to tell you, when I got this palette and I opened up for my last look for the 6 in vertical, I freaked out because I thought, oh my God, that's all dark. How's that going to work? And you can see it worked beautifully. So now I have done all the quads. I've done quads horizontal, and I've done quads vertical. And I had to incorporate some of the other colors here and there just for a light up or brighten up. But again, even though I was dreading it, I almost didn't do it. I almost said forget it. But nope, didn't do it. I want to stick to it. I want to get a look out of it. I want to show you what you can do. This would probably be a night glamour look. So I like it, and you let me know what you think. I hope you have enjoyed the June series of the Maneater palette. I'm going to get off of that palette, and I may pop on over to another one like Natasha Denona, because if I haven't shown it yet, I got kind of like a takeover in my Ipsy mega sale. So be looking for that video or look for it, but I don't know when it's coming out. But anyways, that's my beauty looks, makeup looks with the Maneater palette for the month of June. And let me know which look was your favorite, which look surprised you the most, which look would you never do, and which look would you do every day. Or, you know, if you're going out somewhere. I realize this look is not maybe for an everyday look, but if you're going out somewhere, it'd be a nice, pretty look. But I can't think of anything else other than use hashtag Jubilee in the comments if you are participating in the Jubilee giveaways. And if you want another entry into the monthly giveaway, share this video and let me know where you shared it, and I'll add another entry in, up to 3 entries. And at the end of June, I will be picking my 5 winners, 1 winner for each week, and then the monthly Jubilee prize is a ONA, I think it's called Teos or TOS, T-A-O-S or T-A-O, Teo, ONA facial cleanser machine. Really cool. So go back and look at the 3rd week. I think I showed it on the 3rd week. I might have shown it on the 2nd week, 2nd Mass Monday in June. It'll tell you all about it. And if I think about it, I'll put a link here somewhere. But anyways, guys, that's all I have. Thank you for being with me, and let me know if you like these. And of course, if you've been here the whole time, put me a lipstick emoji or a big old lips on the video down at the below, so that I'll know that you watched me through the whole time and that you like my video or looks, or good enough to watch it anyways, which I so appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all are fabulous. Thank you so much. And as usual, I wish you all a blessed and happy day. Bye-bye.